お待たせいたしました。それでは次のセッションを始めましょう。Thank you for waiting. Let's begin the next session. テーマは GameFi 導入の課題及びイノベーションの展望です。The theme is GameFi adoption challenges plus opportunities for innovation. Speakers will be FSL, STEPN, STEPN Go, MOOAR, and Gas Hero co-founder Yawn Rong. The Sandbox co-founder and COO Sebastien Borget. MapleStory Universe Head of VD Partnerships Angela Sung. And Kantan Games Inc CEO Serkan Toto. Let's enjoy. よろしくお願いします。
Hi, everybody. Sorry for that small hiccup just now. I was told to really get going really quickly because we only have a limited time. So first of all, my name is Serkan. I'm based in Tokyo for about 20 years now, and I'm also based in Singapore as of now. And I'm a game industry consultant for about 15 years or something like that, including in the Web3 gaming space. But so much about me. So a lot more important are our panelists today. So maybe I begin right here with Angela from MapleStory, then Sebastien from Sandbox, and then Yawn from FSL, the company that's behind the STEPN project and platform.
All right.
So sorry, please.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Hey everyone, great to meet you. I'm Angela. I'm from MapleStory Universe, and as you can hear from the name, we are basically building out an ecosystem based on the MapleStory IP, which is a globally loved online game that is already 20 years old and still growing. So great to be here.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sebastien Borget. I'm the COO and co-founder at the Sandbox. Quick poll, who's already familiar with Sandbox in the audience? Raise your hand. All right, it's not a lot, so we have a good progress to do here in Japan. So Sandbox, it's a decentralized virtual world where anyone can make all sorts of 3D content and experiences with our no-code game maker, and then publish them on their land and own them. We have 6 million users, which make us one of the largest projects in Web3, and we partner with over 400 major brands in the space, including big brands here in Japan. So I'm sure we'll talk about it more.
Hi everybody, my name is Yawn. I'm the co-founder of STEPN, and now we are making the new product called STEPN Go. And I've seen some STEPN users here. Thank you for attending. And yes, thank you.
Yeah, to kick things off, maybe I would like to go into each of the projects a little bit deeper first before we maybe go into a more general discussion about the challenges and opportunities that you see. So maybe starting with Angela again. So, MapleStory is I would say, silently one of the biggest gaming IPs in the world. Nexon, the company that's behind the MapleStory IP, is $18 billion in market cap. It's a Korean company. They're headquartered in Tokyo. It's a little bit weird, but it's a really, really big game company and very old, very established. So MapleStory Universe, why now? Why do you think now is the right time to start a project like that? And how do you already have some metrics that you can share? How are things going after starting the project?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm sure a lot of you already know about MapleStory. Maybe there are some people who are not too familiar with the IP, but then what I can say about MapleStory is that It is a core pillar to us. I mean, it has accumulated about $5 billion in revenue for the franchise, which is actually a bigger number than the Frozen box office revenues, actually. So we're talking about a pretty big game. And our devotion to bringing this onto Web3 actually really started with our experience in servicing the game itself. And during the 21 years that we have been servicing MapleStory, we got to realize that it's honestly all about the community at the end of the day. So we wanted to find a way to really incorporate community contributions, like, the walkthroughs that they make, or the videos, or even the fan creations, UGC, that they make. They are a core part of what makes a game and what really builds a game's culture. And they're at the backbone of what has made MapleStory such a big IP at the end of the day, because it's a shared experience based on what the community has made. But the previous Web 2 version, or the previous versions of all games for that matter, doesn't really have a structure there to ensure that the community is well blended into the game or the environment. So at best, it is a fan creation, or at worst, it can also be IP infringement. And we wanted to kind of tackle that issue head on and say, like, okay, we're looking at making MapleStory and expanding it to a bigger ecosystem where the community can also be happy with it, where it evolves into a direction that the community deems it right. And so we started MapleStory Universe in the hopes that this goes beyond just being a single client game. This goes on into being a whole experience based on what we've learned. This is going to be the next generation of live service, basically. And we think that this is the future for MapleStory. And as a company, we're very devoted to making this happen.
And you're going to offer it in English, Japanese, and the usual suspects in terms of localization and languages. Is that correct? Or is it more like a Korean thing first and foremost?
Actually, what's really interesting and exciting to us about the MapleStory Universe project is that this is a global project that we're talking about. So previously in Web 2, like, you're used to regional publishing, you're used to like going a little bit more deeper into individual audiences.
Right.
But then here, like, Web 3 is a global playground, basically. And of course, English is going to be the biggest language that we can sort of talk in, but then we're also noticing a lot of interest from like other parts of the world or other language speakers from the world too. And we're actually actively looking into ways to be able to support these people as well.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah. So make sure you check out the project when you have the time, maybe later. Maybe like next to for Sebastien, like I'm just going like down the road here. Like the interesting thing I personally think about the Sandbox is that when you talk to people in like traditional gaming, they say, well, what are you talking about, the metaverse? Like, where's the metaverse? I don't know anybody. I'm talking about that. What are you talking about, right? I mean, there's already metaverses that you can actually go to and play and engage with, right? Web3 based metaverses, and Sandbox has 1,000 experiences / games at the moment, or is it already over?
It's already 1,300, so it keeps growing week after week, just on the user-generated content side, yes.
Yeah, so I always tell people, like, go and like download Sandbox, and then you can see, right, there's an actual product there. It's not version 1.0 yet, but it's, you can already play the games and engage with the platform, buy NFTs. There's a huge community that is engaged in that project. So can you share us the status of the Sandbox and your plans for the future, maybe even related to the Japanese market? So do you have a big fan base here or like a big creator base in Japan as well?
Yes, absolutely. I think like one of the key strengths of Sandbox is like we've been really developing like strong local communities. Asia specifically represent more than 40% of our total audience, which is now like over 6 million users with a wallet and over 400 major brands. The key strong aspect of Sandbox is first, like we're a leader in everything related to virtual world and even like virtual real estate. So we push the concept of virtual land and ownership of those piece of digital land where people can publish their experience very far by introducing like neighborhoods by thematic or by culture and countries and region of the world. introducing big brands such as in Japan here, we announced Kodansha and Attack on Titan. We have Captain Tsubasa, we have Okuto no Ken, Feast of the North Star, Shibuya, 109, Avex. We have big partnership and brands in Korea as well. Like we just launched today Avatar collection with Netmarble, for example, which is one of the largest gaming publisher there. And all of those brand and partnerships have been strategic to onboard both players and creators toward like the concept of the metaverse through like owning an avatar and digital identity, playing experiences, official experiences, owning official NFTs from the brand, and also co-creating with those brands, which is for many of those brands and partners for the first time that they embrace this idea of co-creation. Like you were saying, Angela, before, like they've been most of the time like chasing after and protecting themselves by like having like copyright issue and so on. Now they understand the power of user-generated content, and with the notion of ownership attached to like blockchain and NFTs, like they can actually even reward the contribution from those creators, and they do so by like on Sandbox typically by offering like Sand token and various rewards. I think we distributed tens of millions of Sand token to the creator who participated in like creating content on our platform. We attract first-time creator and new creator on the audience by having this no-code game maker as well, which has been like instrumental in the success of Sandbox. Like I think like it really pushed to have like differentiated content and experiences than the one you can find on the traditional App Store, Google Play Store, or even platform like Roblox or Fortnite, and allowed some of those creators now to earn 4, 5, or even 6 figure. This year we have the first creator who earned a 6-figure revenue in a year, which is very reasonable, specifically if you compare to the traditional game industry, free to play. The second success of Sandbox is the Sand token. So we have this utility token that's listed globally, including in Japan. So we're one of the few, actually I think there's not more than 20 cryptocurrencies that are officially recognized and listed on CoinCheck and a few others. Sand is one of them. We're a top 5 gaming token. And the utility of Sand token is beyond just the Sandbox platform. It's been embraced by other games in the industry and other services in Web3 in general. The other strength is definitely all those avatars. So it really pushed the notion of like identity in the metaverse, like that avatars that represent yourself and that you can use across all those different experiences and games. And recently we announced a new program called the Voxel Games program, where not just you can use your avatar across 1,000 of experience on Sandbox, but now you'll be able to use it across other games published on traditional stores, App Stores, Google Play Store, pushing really the vision of metaverse. We didn't define how we see the metaverse, but for us, it's really this myriad of million of virtual world games platform that you can access as a user using your digital identity, and you can take all your content, all your NFT and asset across any of those platforms in a seamless manner. So that's also one thing that we've done well and we continue to push for. I mean, one last thing I'd like to mention is like we're about to launch a new season on Sandbox called Season 4. So it's a 4th iteration. Every year we have one major, which introduce like hundreds of experience at once from top brands and millions of Sand rewards, which has been one also of the main drivers of adoption, pushing new players to discover about Web3 and Metaverse.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that. And Yawn, like maybe about you, like we talked a little bit backstage about like a new product that you are preparing. If you're okay with it, like you can talk about that specific product, but also about your existing hit product, which is STEPN itself.
Sure. So we have taken about 12 months of reflection, looking at what we did right and also what we did wrong in STEPN. And it took us about 12 months to come up with a plan for STEPN Go. So it took relatively long to develop, showing our commitment to a sustainable growth. I think one thing we did pretty good in STEPN is how we can do a growth hack of rapid user onboarding and rapid user growth. But is still facing a lot of user onboarding friction. For example, that you have to use, remember the C phrase for wallet, you have to use Solana for gas, for example. And also, the main pain point for any of the Web2 user onboarding Web2 or Web3 product is they don't know where to get the crypto to buy the NFT. So in this time, one, we are resolving all these issues, right? So we have a quick backup system where people can back up their C phrase. No need to write it down. We build the infrastructure. One is to do the anti-cheating with AI, and two is to enable the game token, the new game token in STEPN Go, which is called the GGT, to be used as gas. So it's very intuitive for the Web2 user that they don't feel anything, right? They don't need to get layer 1 for gas. And the third most important part is that we introduced a house system. So basically what it does is the Web3 user can rent their sneaker to their Web2 friends and families, and then they can split the profit. So in this way, the Web2 user are the user of the product, but they are not the owner of the NFT or the product. So once the Web2 user make enough money, a percentage of them will think, okay, now I have my token, I can buy a new sneaker, I can start my own journey, and then they can start their own house, onboarding 5 people, so on and so forth. So in this way, we are tremendously reduce the friction for Web2 onboarding to the Web3 product. No need to even pay for it, right? They just need to use it. And second, the pain point is we're trying to resolve the so-called death spiral or the inflation issue in the GameFi industry. So this has always been brought up when people discussing GameFi. So what we discovered, the solution, right, is everything in GameFi is people putting the financial first. They have to have something to gain, then they play it. So once they play it, you cannot resolve the value extraction issue, so-called this. So what should we do? And we see the real issue is we need to break the cycle. We need to turn the productive NFT into the non-productive NFT. So for example, a sneaker produce token. And then what you're going to do with token? You're going to make more sneaker. Yes, when the growth is great, you make more money from selling more sneakers. But what happens the user doesn't grow? And that's where the death spiral happens. So our solution is that we need to encourage user to burn the token into non-productive NFTs, cosmetics, right, skins. We've seen the successful case for all the Web2 games like CS:GO, all the games that people buy skins. Why? Because people want to show off. People have the social value. People want to prove that they have the collectible stuff. So we use that as a way to de-inflation the token. So very much, I think that's our solution to achieve a long-term sustainable user growth, as well as solving the ultimate GameFi trouble we are facing now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so I think we all of the panelists already spoke a little bit about innovation. Like Angela, for example, spoke about how you innovate the MapleStory IP in this way through adopting Web3 for it and basically rejuvenating the IP in a different way. So what I wanted to guys ask you about because one bullet point of this panel here is challenges, and we're here in Japan, right? And I'm not sure if everybody in the audience knows that, but in Japan it's super heavy on mobile, right? Everybody thinks about Japan like Nintendo, Sony, and all of these Segas, these console brands. But in Japan, the mobile gaming market is 3 times bigger than the console gaming market, including console hardware, right? So I wanted to ask you guys, when you, Yawn's product is now basically in the App Store too. So if you want, you can go and download STEPN Go. Angela and I just did that backstage. And how about Sandbox and MapleStory universe? Are you guys thinking about holistically, right? About the multi-platform, which is a big topic in the gaming world now. How do you think about mobile? Because I think it's key, right? So there's so many people on mobile in the world.
Well, I can start taking that one. And Serkan, you actually bring up a very important point that we're trying to touch on here. So MapleStory, although it's a great game, it's on PC. It's on a pretty heavy for some people client, and that is a restriction on its own. Like, so for people, like if you want to be playing the game, you have to be in front of a computer, you have to devote your time, you have to dedicate your time and invest basically in playing the game. And we feel that, that itself provides a really great experience, and we love that part about MapleStory. But then we're also thinking about, in terms of this project, are there other ways to be reaching other people on different platforms? We do have like other products like MapleStory Mobile. We have other adaptations for sure, but then they're all very separate experiences from the original client. Like MapleStory M is separate, MapleStory is separate. And so with Web3, I think blockchain is a great enabler that just enables interoperability of NFTs and assets in our ecosystem, in our universe. Like basically all of the items that you get inside the game and even your character are NFTs, which makes it so that they are tradable, they're interoperable, they can travel beyond the game client into different apps. So I mean, one great example that we were able to showcase in our closed beta was the marketplace. So originally, if you know MapleStory, the auction place, which basically doubles as a marketplace, is located inside the game client. So if you wanted to trade anything, you had to boot up the game, you had to boot up your PC. But then here, we actually managed to pull it outside of the client and have it on the web. So what this enables for players is that even if you are not on the client, if you're not in front of a PC, you can still use the marketplace to trade and enjoy the trading aspects of the game. Or if you're on mobile, you can access this as well. Even if you don't play the game, it means that you have another way of engaging in MapleStory, because trade is already a really big part that, just constructs the ecosystem itself. And I think what we're trying to do here is provide a lot of points for engagement. Like engagement with games, we believe, doesn't really need to be only the deep and core parts. Engagement for everyone can be on very different levels. Like for instance, someone might be able to spend 8 hours playing a game, that's fine. Or other people might just be able to spare like 10 or 20 minutes on their mobile phones. And we think that's also fine, but then we need to be able to provide those contact points for all these types of users. And we feel that us going in the blockchain space, us, experimenting and going forward with MapleStory Universe is basically a testament to making that happen for a lot of users across the world.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. How about you, Sebastien? Like, what do you think about mobile? I mean, I can guess it's like a big challenge to bring such an experience like the Sandbox, such a metaverse to mobile devices.
Yes, we have to realize that Sandbox now is a whole platform. It comes with like the creation tool, VoxEdit, a 3D edition and animation tool that's PC and Mac, a no-code game maker that's also PC and Mac, because right now creating game, you need, I think, all those tools, even if it's not like Unity or Unreal, it's so much more convenient to create a whole game in no code on the PC and Mac. A game client that's a separate app as well, that's right now is PC and Mac, and still, because the market globally is still hundred of millions of players, is significant enough. It comes with a marketplace on the web, a dashboard, an avatar manager, and so on. And what we're pushing forward is because we're not satisfied with the quality of the control, the performance, loading speed, and the consumption of memory that allows us to have a multiple player, large LANs, and so on mobile, we delayed the launch of the mobile version, so it's not thought for this year, maybe next year, but we're taking a more gaming ecosystem approach, and that's what we did by just introducing this Voxel Games program, where we're going to co-produce game with traditional development studio, indie developers who are making game with any engine, Unity, Unreal, HTML5, publish them on any store, Epic, Steam, App Store, Google Play, and have those games use like free-to-play, microtransaction ads, integrate with the Sandbox wallet and all our users, giving the access to all the user base, to the user, all their digital assets, whether their avatar, the reward they own or they created, and allow them to use it and give actually even more utility. So you were talking about interoperability within those games. We've done a lot in terms of interoperability already on the core version of Sandbox by turning tens of thousands of NFTs into playable avatars, giving more utility in game to external projects, onboarding 50 of the most popular blue chip NFT collection in Sandbox. And now we are proving the vision of Metaverse by having multiple games and apps across different platforms with different gameplay, able to use the same player assets, true to like the definition of what Metaverse should be.
Do you have like a recommendation for anybody who wants to try out the Sandbox in terms of like games? Like, is there like a game that everybody can get into like quite easily, and that you personally enjoy?
So with the 1,300 games, it's getting tough, like even to follow every week, like even every morning.
Even for
I
you.
see my social feed, like those creators, they are very engaged. They offer their reward. They launch their own token now to reward their community. There's a few games, like one is actually from a Korean studio called Fibros, which I found their arcade game to be very fun. There was one game where basically you were cutting hair of myself and creating your own portrait and saving it. There's one game where I found really interesting as well. You have to collaborate with other players to create the next platform, so everyone can jump on it and move forward collaboratively into the gameplay. So there's a bunch of new gameplays that like I haven't found on other platforms that are being introduced. It's really refreshing to see that creativity. I'm also a big fan of all those music experience. Like we've collaborated with many DJs like Steve Aoki, which a lot of people I'm sure know about, or Agoria, French DJ, or brands like The Walking Dead, Okuto no Ken, Feast of the North Star, Captain Tsubasa. So it's pretty fun to interact with those branded games on Sandbox too.
Nice, yeah, thank you. Yeah, maybe Yawn, like we don't have so much time anymore, but Yawn, like if you think about the Japanese market in particular, right? So WebEx is obviously like a Japanese event. Is there like anything that surprised you about the Japanese market, or to go back to the headline of the topic? Like, are there any specific challenges that you saw in the case of the Japanese market, or did you see like user acquisition, for example, go like in every other market?
Actually, I want to go back to the mobile
please do,
question.
yeah.
Give me 1 minute. I think the most important thing, I think, for any of the new product is to offer a new user experience. And the newness of this new user experience has to be significant in order to change people's behavior. For example, try it. And mobile has been around since, say, 2024, become popular. Now it's almost 20 years. We actually are thinking, what is the next step? Yes, mobile is what people use now, but what happened next? So our focus, with STEPN Go, the next stage for STEPN Go is to get into the wearables. For example, we basically are now betting on the AR system going to get more robust in the next 3 years, so that we can actually move STEPN Go to the AR gear, where people can wear the goggle, and then that's where the skins become very important. And that's where we believe that this is truly a model that can break, the death spiral, right? So it's because once you have the wearable, you can actually see other people wearing the skins. Right. The skin become more significant, more important, right? So if you don't have any skins, you're like, okay, you don't have any status, in this product. So that's where I think it's important that we offer a whole new experience to the user base, and the whole new experience has to be so significant that totally changes user behavior, and then you will have a tremendous user growth. I think that's what we did with STEPN, where we put everything together, right? We have the DEX, marketplace, everything in one app. So people haven't experienced this before, so that they will, wow, right? But again, if we build the same thing again, people will be less impressed, which means that we need to build new things. That's where we focus on, like a new tokenomic, new designs, new model. So now we're going back to the Japan market question. I think Japan market, from sales, we can see that Japan market is huge, right? It's people that do pay for product. And this actually work perfectly well, especially for the GameFi product. Because when people talk about GameFi product, they come say, okay, let me earn first. And then when you're earning, you are looking at the product not as a game. Then all the game experience people design, developer design, really doesn't, it become people just skip, right? So there's, okay, let me just get the the
Right.
token.
Right.
It's bad. But with the Japan market that do spend, it become a perfect reciprocal economy where people spend and then they earn. And then it become actually working. It become a working model. So that we see this is a working model, then we actually doing the next phase is where we do, in STEPN we do the achieved one, where we reward people just by simply participation. And participation means they spend in the app, and they do exercise in the app, and then they get like a massive airdrops. We do that every year. Last year we dropped like 100 million tokens. It's about $40 million. The year before is about the same. So in this way, we are rewarding the user, and the user basically take that token they earn and spend back to the economy. So it become actually a very, it become a harmony, is a harmonic ecosystem. I think that's what the Japanese market significantly different to other economy, and make perfect sense for GameFi. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. I would love to talk like 1 hour at least more with you guys, but we don't have so much time anymore, or not any time anymore at all. What I would like to encourage you as the last point is just to really try the projects, right? Try download Sandbox, or go to STEPN, go to MapleStory universe, and engage and really engage with the project. Just maybe my last message, because it makes a huge difference. And thank you for the panelists for your time, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Please stand in the center of the stage so we can have a group photo. Thank you. Right at the center, please. Thank you. Oh, more to the center of the stage. I think he wanted you guys to kind of stick together. There you go. Little more to... Oh, there we go. Okay. さあ、テーマはゲームファイ導入の課題及びイノベーションの展望でした。Thank you very much. The theme was GameFi Adoption Challenges plus Opportunities for Innovation. Thank you. ありがとうございました。さあ、自撮りもやっておりますが、お次のセッションももう間もなくでスタートいたします。お席の方でどうぞお待ちになってください。The next session will begin momentarily, so please wait at your seats. Thank you very much.